So when we think about the variants this year, every year we have the base, which is a phenomenal cuvee that Evan talked about. This year it's a 3-year blend, I believe. Yep. 20, 21, 22.
Yep.
Which is, again, just the science and uniqueness that goes into making that consistently is astonishing to me. On the builder side of things, we kind of put guardrails on it, because there are some flavors that just don't work incredibly well with Imperial Stout, but they voted and it made a ton of sense. Triple vanilla. We do a vanilla, some sort of vanilla variant every year, and this year it isn't just, oh wow, we have a lot of vanilla, let's put it in a barrel. There's some uniqueness to that I think Evan can highlight.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the key areas in the world that, vanilla beans come from, with Madagascar.
Madagascar is the only one I know.
Being one of them.
I guess there's Mexican vanilla too. I've heard that.
Yeah, so we blended from 3 of the primary regions, which is Madagascar, Tahitian, and then Indonesian. And so really, it's not necessarily 3 times the vanilla, but it's blending those 3 types of beans. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of vanilla in that beer. It's a really, really good variant.
Our finance team, when we bring in vanilla for Dark Charge, they have to put it in the safe.
I mean, it's
just. I've had many conversations with Brett up at Urban about some of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's insane. It is insane.
So that one we're super excited about. On the barrel age side of things, on the barrel house side of things, rather. We always do something unique there, and we allow the wood to speak for the variant. So it isn't adjuncted. It's really just what kind of unique barrels can we get.
That was the orange curacao last year.
Orange curacao, peach brandy,
cognac.
Man. The orange one just gets better and better and better every time I've tried it. I don't know if that's just coming through the headphones or if that's actually going into the. It just gets better and better. It just is so freaking good, and I think I'm out of it now.
My favorite that came from that series was Barrel House's first year, and that was the cognac.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal.
Well, and this year we were able to grab some cinnamon whiskey barrels.
Oh yeah.
So
it's one of those things that really it could sound off-putting because I know you either love cinnamon whiskey or you hate cinnamon whiskey.
Well, Fireball pops into everybody's head.
Exactly.
And there are some cinnamon whiskeys that are just way better.
Yeah.
That's not even a whiskey.
And Fireball's not barrel-aged, right? So this is a barrel-aged cinnamon whiskey.
Oh, man.
And so you're just getting that depth, like baking cinnamon with a lot of like softwood and vanilla. It's really, really good. It's got a little bit of a heat to it. It's phenomenal.
Man, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's right up my alley.
Then rounding out the last of what we call the core 4 variants, Braxton Labs, because the facility has gone away, it's not branded Braxton Labs anymore. It's just a variant that Zach gets to create from inception. And this one he's super pumped about, and I'm excited as well. It's maple pecan.
Oh.
So everything that we loved about Graders last year, brown butter bourbon pecan, comes back but gets a different spin on it. Instead of that brown butter flavor, you're getting that nice mapleness and just the sweetness that comes through in the barrel. It's pretty special.
Maple is one of those things, a lot like vanilla, that like as soon as you put just a little bit in a beer, everybody tends to lose their minds.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You might not be able to, if somebody doesn't tell you, you might not be able to pick out exactly what that thing is. But man, it just, especially with a big stout like that, it just makes it taste so much better.
Yeah.
It just rounds it all out.
So then we move into the unique stuff, and this is what I'm most proud of with Dark Charge is not just the product, but also the packaging. Our team really pushes the boundaries on packaging every year, so much so that I think this year I think we're going to try to enter one of the variants into some awards because it's so special. But we introduced back in 2019 a collaboration variant, and the idea was, we are really proud to work with other companies and work with them on what they do best. We learn a lot, not just in product creation, but just a lot of, how to run better businesses. And we started with Papa Opera Cream.
Oh yeah,
which was truly special. I completely
forgot about that. Oh,
and then moved into Graders was the second run, and that was the brown butter bourbon pecan ice cream, just an amazing variant. This year, we reached out to the Buskin family, and really, we try to think about those iconic flavors that are Cincinnati, that make Cincinnati great. And
you made a yellow smiley face stout.
There's literally nothing more iconic than the smiley cookie.
Are you kidding?
So we created a funny story. They can't call it Smiley Cookie because there's actually a bakery in Pennsylvania who owns that trademark. So it's called Really Happy Cookie.
Oh, I love
Stout.
it. Oh, I love it so much.
And they've been just such a fascinating team to work with. Like, the activations that we're going to do at the event are going to be really special. And Molly on our design team took just an incredible approach at the throwback 70s. So it comes in a tube. It's got this really great personality, and it's very unexpected from Dark Charge. And just a lot of fun stuff will be happening. I mean, they're going to be giving away cookies and, a lot of different fun activations.
Well, Dark Charge has this this personality of this big dark the stout that could light a city this big kind of bold personality, and then like when you do this stuff like be it the breakfast box or the cake box or like those things that are kind of not that at all, like it just it feels so good and it feels so right for what Dark Charge, how it can kind of grow and how it can poke at some other things. And you guys, I think I say it every year that like I'm just always so impressed at how you manage to take this thing that you've done and kick it up just another little notch.
We try every year.
Yeah, and I wait for that year that you guys fall on your face with it. It just never happens.
I hope that never happens, Dom. I really hope that never happens. So then, to round out the variants that are expected, we've always, you mentioned the cake box, which was our first foray into a box set. That then morphed into the cereal box, and then last year became something really special, which was the Distiller Select, which is, if you look at trends across our industry, a lot of our, we'll call them beer nerds, but passionate beer customers have really migrated to bourbon. They're still doing beer to some extent,
right.
but those, that big passion that was there in 2015 is getting a little bit of bourbon into it. So, we think of Dark Charge as this collision of bourbon and beer. Like, that's what makes it so special. And so we wanted to bring back the box set, but we didn't want to just replicate what we did last year with the distillery arm to it. And this is where I think the real kind of level set between our passionate brewing team and our marketing team came together to create something really special. We're calling it Dark Charge Roasters Reserve. And it is really, really special in that it's a 3-bottle set. But each bottle, we sat with 3 of the best coffee roasters here in Cincinnati and worked intimately with them to create a variant that highlighted a unique piece of their roast or coffee or blend. And so Urbana was the first one, and they worked with this Flow coffee company to create a really special cold brew that we created into a variant. Then Deeper Roots used a Mexican origin coffee, single origin roast, to create something really special.
Brazilian.
It's Brazilian?
Yeah, the Mexican coffee is Urbana.
Oh, okay. My apologies. So then we rounded out with Coffee Emporium, who used their Mackinac Island fudge, and each one just gets adjuncted and creates this really unique flavor profile. And we package all of them in a 5-pound coffee bag.
That's awesome.
And so the branding just came out to be beautiful. It's gorgeous, and I don't know. It was a trend that we were really interested in.
When we sat down to talk about variants this year, trying to figure out the direction to take that box set, it gets, like you were talking earlier, it gets more difficult every year, right? Like last year, the Distiller Select box was one of my favorite projects I got to work on. Working with those distillers and blenders at each distillery, an awesome experience.
Sure. How
do you take it a level above, maintain that same uniqueness and premiumness that really drives that kind of 3-bottle set? And we've never focused on an adjunct solely. So, we had a coffee variant year 1, year 2, and I believe it died off in year 3. And to partner with something that pairs with this particular beer so well, and experts in their field. The folks at Flow created this like super coffee extract. It like the technology that they use to get that coffee to us for us to put it in the beer is unlike anything I've ever seen. And so it just gives you a lot of different opportunity. how you add the beans.
If you dip your finger in the extract, do you get jittery by?
I mean, it's so yeah. I mean, it's pretty exciting, and it's not necessarily just 3 different types of coffees. You know, it's you got the Mackinac Island fudge. You've got this Mexican coffee with Urbana, and the Bobo Link Brazilian single origin. Right. So now you're taking a coffee that is, this is a single origin coffee. It's from this particular region in Brazil. They work in Deeper Roots works directly with the growers to get that coffee imported, and then so there's just a lot of different connections that go into that beer.
On the drinking side too, those box sets, some more than others. I appreciate when one comes out that it's I need to open all 3 of these at the same time. I need to get a group of friends together. We need to sit around and we need to drink these and kind of see the difference between them. When you say, we've got 3 coffee stouts, it's okay, well, I'll drink one night and one the other night, and then no, that misses the whole point of it. The point is to be able to try them together and see those differences and taste how different one beer can be from the next one. And the Distiller's Box was similar to that. I mean, you had some different spirits in there, but the idea that you could have one that was made with a rye and one that was a bourbon, which some people kind of think are very similar, to be able to try them next to each other, no, do you see the difference now?
Yeah.
I think that sometimes people lose some of that connection between different releases in a series like this. It's oh yeah, well, this one has whatever variant of this is. I'm trying to make up something that doesn't call somebody out. This is, we'll just say this is a vanilla stout and this one here is a coffee stout. Those are clearly different beers and they're going to taste different. And so you don't put them next to each other. But when you have something that is on paper the same thing, but then when you try them are different, I think that really starts to shine a spotlight on what, to me, this is supposed to be about. But, not this is about me. But
no, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And then the last one is the big surprise. So
first year we've done
the first
8
year.
variants.
Yeah, first year we've done 8. So we had to introduce an 8th, and here's why. This is the collision.
Because that list gets bigger and bigger. You just have to eventually.
No, this is the collision of bourbon and beer. And so we were approached early in the year by an organization in Northern Kentucky called the Beeline. And the Beeline is this remarkable group of basically the extension of the Bourbon Trail in Northern Kentucky. We have 5 distilleries in Northern Kentucky. There's 9 bars and I think 18 or some odd restaurants that qualify. And they came to us and they were like, look, you did this thing, Distiller Select, last year. Is really unique, but we really think that Dark Charge is truly special for the region. And we think the event is a great example to show off everything that is Northern Kentucky.
Right.
And we were honored by that. I mean, honestly, we look up to a lot of the distillers because it's a different model altogether. And so we worked with them to create, I think, one of the most unique variants we've ever done. So we created a double barrel aged beer, but it's actually triple barrel aged. We worked closely with Boone County Bourbon, New Riff, and Old Pogue to take Dark Charge in each of their barrels.
Okay.
And basically blended that together after triple barrel aging and adjuncted it with basically what we're calling salted pretzel bourbon ball. And it is one of the more unique flavors. The Beeline's going to have a really big experience here. They're taking over the lounge on the second floor. The distillers will be present to talk about their bourbon. We'll be serving up the bourbon. But what we're doing with this variant, I think, is really special in that you can only get it if you're here.
I like that a lot.
And so, we talk a lot about this, and we've grown a lot over the past 8 years. We're really proud of what we've done, but there are some things that we miss. And the pandemic really untethered the bottle release from the event because it had to. The event couldn't happen in 2020. We did some small scale visit each tap room, but it wasn't the same. And since then, the world has changed. I mean, it just has. And I don't know that there will ever be a day that Dark Charge doesn't pre-sell on the internet any longer. It's just better for everyone, easier for us to manage and all of that. But we missed the camaraderie.
I don't think I'm going to say it's better for everyone. I'm going to say that there are good things about it for everyone.
Sure, there we go. We missed the camaraderie and the community that existed in the line that formed at 11 p.m. the night before. I think we really wanted to pay homage to that by celebrating the people that will come down here for the event with us.
Oh man, what a great clip. Look, I might be biased, but I think if you like that, you'll probably like the full episode. Go to cincybrewcast.com to listen to the whole thing. It's a podcast, and you can share it with your friends, subscribe, all that stuff. It's really good. Trust me,